What's good? How y'all doing this evening?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the FILA Sports Podcast Wednesday show, which means it's Rivalry Week. Y'all know we do on Wednesdays. We talk college football. It's Coach Mario and the man known as the Don.
How y'all doing this evening?
I did it
no,
right?
not really, but I'm gonna let you pass tonight, man. I'm gonna let you pass tonight, man. I'm gonna let you pass tonight. Okay. All right, how y'all doing this evening? It's the Don. Glad y'all could join us. I know some people, watching the World Series and NBA's back, so a lot of stuff going on right now in the sports world. But if you're a fan of Georgia Southern, hey, you need to be right here listening to us. Well, we have a great special guest on with us right now. But before we introduce him, if you are new to the channel, you already know what you need to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this content out with other Georgia's college sports fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always,
come holla
at your hometown sports podcast. All right, we have a special guest on with us tonight. Frank, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing great. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are and who you work for.
All right, I'm the sports director at WJCL here in Savannah. Some folks call me the big guy. Some guys, they call me Big Frank. My wife, she calls me a lot of things I can't share right here with everybody. Been doing sports in and around Georgia my entire life. Listen, I'm a South Georgia guy. Grew up in Tifton. Okay. I was a Blue Devil, and here I am. I've been in Savannah since 2006, and I get the honor to cover Georgia Southern each week. I actually travel with the team as well, part of the pregame show, the Georgia Southern Radio Network, the Sports Network. But what really pays my bills is anchoring sports here in Savannah at WJCL, the ABC station here in Savannah, and just trying to do my thing and stay on everything I can, guys.
Hey, my college roommate was from Tifton, was a Blue Devil. Hey, I'm sorry, I have to ask you real quick. Whatever happened to Pablo Machado?
Pablo Machado, he actually, after he went to Georgia Tech, and he played, then he went out west. I want to say he went to like Loyola Marymount or something like that. He transferred all the way out west and played for a couple years out there. And then I think he went abroad and played a little bit. He's actually the same age as one of my younger brothers. He was a little bit younger. My dude was Travis Williams, who was assistant basketball coach, played at Georgia State basketball.
Uh-huh.
We called him head. Travis Williams. He was one of my guys.
Remember.
So.
Yeah. I believe me and Pablo are the same age. He was around there. I graduated in '96. He was around in there.
That's one of my brothers played. Yeah. That's 96.
If you guys don't know,
that's when they had Alfred Bell. That was the dude, though.
Yeah.
AB was the one.
His stepbrother, you probably might not remember. Pridgeon was actually my college roommate. That was I went to Morehouse. He was my college roommate. Small world, man. Yeah, his stepbrother. I actually met him one time when he came to visit one time. Yeah. But AB was the guy. Yeah. Yep. His stepbrother was my college roommate. That was
Cool.
Small world.
Exactly.
Yeah. We have to tell him, Frank. I'm sorry. We're older than most of our followers, so they're like, Pablo Machado. He was Mr. Basketball. He was Georgia Basketball Player of the Year around 95, 96, and he went with Tech.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, Don.
You good, man? You good? Yeah, I respect my elders. You can go ahead.
Hey. We're gonna run down last week in college football, then we'll talk some Georgia Southern. Georgia last week, we got the win versus Kentucky, 21-0. Rain soaked all over the nation last week.
Man,
rain soaked,
who you telling?
We're gonna get to yours. A lot of complaints in the Georgia game. I'm sorry, y'all. That's who Kirby is. He's gonna keep it close to the vest. Kirby's gonna play defense. He's not gonna take a lot of chances. I do think he's gonna have to change a little bit. You see, Nick has changed, but that's who Kirby is, and he's not gonna apologize for it. We're gonna run the ball 62% of the time. That's what we're gonna do. I mean, that's who Kirby is. That's what you're gonna get. Georgia Tech won in overtime versus Miami. Georgia Tech is 2-5 now. They squeaked past Miami 28-21. They returned a fumble for a touchdown, and the punter. I'm always talking about Georgia Tech's punter, Percy Harvin, the biggest punter in the nation. He threw not a touchdown pass, right? It was down on the one, I think.
Yeah.
No, the goal scored. He scored, didn't he?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, no, he actually scored. Yeah, on the fake punt. He threw a touchdown on the fake punt. So Georgia Tech got past Miami. Boy, Miami Twitter is in shambles. Man. Plenty of my brothers in Miami, like some of my best friends are Hurricane fans. Like,
man, like I said this before, man. It's Miami fans are very similar to Dallas Cowboys fans. Very sensitive people, man. They take pride in their school, but at the same time, when they lose, oh man, they feel like they mama or somebody died. Oof.
I mean, one of my best friends is a Hurricanes fan, and I mean, he didn't talk to me about 5 days this summer when he told me that they were going to win the Coastal, and I said, "Are you delusional?" And I mean, he really this summer was like, "No way, we're not going to win." Like, bruh, they are delusional. Georgia State got the win last week versus Army in a rain-soaked game, 28-21. Nice offensive performance. Dan Ellington, once again, was solid on the ground and through the air. They have New Mexico State on Saturday, 3 p.m., and that'll be on ESPN 3, so you can check them out. Valdosta State, our only undefeated team in the state, 55-28. Matter of fact, whoa, hold on. Valdosta State was undefeated last year. How many is that straight?
Yeah.
I need to go and count.
I think that's
straight. I need to go and count.
And then you got to count some of the wins because they was on it. They was on a little win streak the year before.
They didn't win a championship before, though. Yeah. But last year they played 14 games. And this year they're 7-0, so they're at least 21-0 in their last.
Yeah, that's impressive,
I had that
man.
stat for y'all this week. Yeah, that just hit me, you know.
Yeah, they went last year 0 in 2018.
Yeah, I know they were undefeated last year, and they're 7-0 this year, so that's at least 21 straight.
Yeah,
and with the coaching change. So
that was after going 5-4 in 2017.
Yep.
Wow, and like I said, they had a coaching change this year because their coach last year went to not Coastal Carolina, one of the South Florida schools. He's the OC now at South Florida, maybe South Florida or something like that. One of the South Florida schools. And they take on North Greenville Saturday at 4 p.m. They're going to kill North Greenville. Kennesaw State 55-10 over Presbyterian. They have North Alabama Saturday at 3 p.m. That'll probably be one of the biggest tests for them, but I expect them to get by. Kennesaw State is 6-1. Kennesaw State head coach is Brian Bohannon. Remember that name. In the next couple of years, you're going to hear his name come up for probably some smaller FCS jobs or some smaller D1 jobs. But Bohannon is coming up the list. Listen to that name. He's a young coach. He's going to start to get some, you're going to start to hear his name. He's going to move up the coaching ranks fast. So expect Kennesaw State to need another coach in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's, like I said, he's going to go up in level. He's going to get paid more money. So good thing for him. Morehouse took the L Saturday. They had Fort Valley. They lost to Fort Valley 21-37. Saturday they'll be at home versus Benedict College. That's 2 p.m. Morehouse 2 and 5. Benedict College is winnable, so maybe they can get to 3 and 5. Clark Atlanta 15-22. They lost to Savannah State this week. They actually have Fort Valley. They play at home 1 p.m. They'll probably drop that one as well. Clark Atlanta is looking on going over for the season.
All right, what about Savannah State? Who Savannah State play this week coming up?
Albany State.
Yes.
And how about this? You would not have thought 2 undefeated teams in the SIAC played in that one. And Savannah State was picked to finish last in the conference. And, of course, they got a new coach in Sean Quinn and them. And the Tigers are playing. They're fired up over here on the march, and they got a very good Albany State team. They're saying that place may be sold out.
Hey, I have to say this. I have to say this every week when we talk about games like this, Frank. Guys, if you're attending this game and you're taking your significant other, wear shades. That's all I'm gonna say. Wear shades. Steve Davenport, another former coach at Savannah State too. But we all know how that ended, so let's move on. And that brings us to Georgia Southern. What did Georgia Southern do last week, Don?
Man,
you can tell them better.
Triple overtime. We won 30-27. Against we played against Coastal Carolina, so we're now 3-3, and then next week we play New Mexico. Do we play New Mexico?
Yeah, we got New Mexico State coming up on Saturday.
Yep.
And like I say, that'll bring us into the game. But unless you've been under a rock, I'm pretty sure if you're tuning into us, you're obviously a sports fan. So I'm pretty sure you've been on Twitter or somewhere and you've heard about the tragedy that struck in Statesboro with the freshman lineman Jordan Wiggins from Florida. He was redshirting this year. Was found unresponsive in the dorm room Monday, and as of right now, last I saw, it was ruled suicide by overdose. It's tough, man. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what do you guys think. I don't even know what questions to ask. Just like I've been a coach on a team, and I've been on a team myself where I've had a player die or a coach die.
It's
devastating, man.
It's
devastating. It's devastating.
I've been and then this week I've been, it's one of the things you hate reporting on, but I've had to be on it with the whole story. This young man was doing everything the right way. He played high school football down at Godby High School in Tallahassee. Was one of those A-B students.
All region type
engineer, all Big Bend. He was getting community service awards. I mean, everything doing right. And he was loved here at Georgia Southern. He was going to redshirt, but that whole group came together, and they were this Georgia Southern team is a very close knit group. As is the case with a lot of teams, you're a family, and they've been taking it hard this week. In fact, last night you had Georgia Southern kind of have a meeting to figure out who you're going to play this weekend's game, because a lot of folks taking this one pretty tough. Yeah. But the players, they all by unanimous decision said, yeah, we want to play this, and that's probably the right thing to do. Get back to normalcy. Plus, what would Jordan want you to do?
He wants you to go and play. Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. And that's the best way. That's the best way you can honor his life and celebrate his life, is go out there and put it on a team, Saturday, and do what he can't do anymore.
Yeah.
And it's always, easier said than done, because being in this situation before, I've seen some players go out there determined and whatever, and I've seen other players emotional, and you understand, like, I can't concentrate on the game right now, man, which is fully understandable. Like, everybody deals with it differently. It's just like to put things in perspective, the team is on a roll right now. It's looking like they're getting things on track, about to get bowl eligible, and it would be fully understandable if the team didn't come out with their best efforts in the next few weeks.
But but I know Coach Lunsford, though. Like, he's gonna have these guys ready, and they're gonna go out on Saturday and play like they in the national championship. I'm telling you, that's the type. That's the type of coach he's. That's the type of coach he is. Like, those players will like run through 3 brick walls for this coach.
Yeah.
Like, and Statesboro, I'm telling you, Statesboro, it's a family. It's a small community, but it's like a family down there, man. So when the news struck, everybody, this whole southern region, this whole southern part of the state felt it. Like we lost a loved one.
Yeah. And I think you will see Georgia Southern come out, like y'all said. They're starting to show improvement. They put together a couple wins back to back here. One was an overtime win at South Alabama. Then you follow that up with a triple overtime win. So you've dealt with that adversity. Let's remember, I mean, this entire preseason and the whole season started with that whole Shy Wirt situation.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Where you had the, where the guy
cocaine.
It was bird poo. And you still had it. That all started things. So they've dealt with a lot of adversity, and a lot of things 18, 19, 20-year-old guys, have never had to deal with.
Yeah.
And so you better have a strong support staff around you. And the good thing is there at Statesboro, they have just that. And I know the buzz going around now is, get that stadium full, because if there's one thing that they need, if you can get a lot of folks there, it is homecoming, so that helps Saturday.
Yeah.
Be loud and show them love. They're going to feed off that. They need that. They have each other, but it's going to be nice when the folks in the community say, what can we do to help? Well, now you can go out there, get your ticket, get your butt in the stadium, be loud and support them, because they will, they'll feel that. And that will move them, and that's going to drive them to go out there and play extra hard. So, it's going to be anxious to see what happens on Saturday. Again, you got a New Mexico State team coming in. They're winless, and they're coming 1,700 miles across the country to a team that's got some bottled up emotions right now. This could be Georgia Southern's best showing of the season.
Yeah,
and not to overlook New Mexico State at all, but when we began preparing the notes for this show, the tragedy hadn't happened yet. So one of the things we were talking about discussing is, next week we all know that we take on Appalachian State. If you guys don't know, App State is undefeated. Hey Don, App State has one of the top cornerbacks in the Sun Belt. He went to Stevenson High School. But anyway,
you always got to plug Stevenson. Here you go with this, man.
App State is undefeated, and we take them on next week. And we're 2-1 in conference play. Obviously, they're undefeated in conference play. What do you think a win next week? Knocking off App State. What do you think that can mean if we do? Could we make a win run at the Atlantic the division championship?
I mean, that's just it. And that's what Georgia Southern got off to that 1-3 start, and everybody was saying, "Whoa, 1-3." Now let's remember,
Minnesota.
You had one game against LSU, which I'm going to tell you right now, LSU is one of the top 2 teams in college football.
Definitely.
You went on the road. You almost upset Minnesota. That's a top 20 team.
Yeah.
And then you lost to Louisiana, who's probably going to represent the Western Division in the Sun Belt Championship game.
Yeah. And tough.
Your 3 losses aren't all. You're not losing to Maine, and you won the games you were supposed to win.
Exactly.
You beat Appalachian State, and all of a sudden you're in the driver's seat to represent the East and play in the championship game for the conference. For the Eastern Division. So. I mean, and plus on top of that, it's going to be a Thursday night, nationally televised. You're on the road in hostile territory. You're taking on your biggest rival. And again, it is just that. It's a rivalry game. Last year, Appalachian State came to Statesboro for a Thursday night game, and they were ranked in the top 25, and Georgia Southern just annihilated them. So, again, you don't know how things are going to play out. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Football, there's a lot of skill in it. But there's also a lot of emotion. I mean, you got to have your head on straight when you're playing in some of these games. And if you have something that's motivating you, which, this whole, sad situation in Statesboro, I think it serves as a motivation for these guys. I mean, plus, I think a lot of folks were writing them off when they opened the season 1-3. They're like, Georgia Southern's not going to a bowl game. They're not doing anything. They're still finding their identity. Shai Werts, your starting quarterback, had to deal with all that stuff at the start. Then he got injured during LSU.
Yep.
Wesley Kennedy, who's your top playmaker, he had to sit out the first 4 games. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of weapons and a lot of percentage of your offense that hasn't been, there hasn't been that continuity. But now you have all them back. That says us something now. Now, the one thing with Georgia Southern is the offensive line has been banged up too. So they're still dealing with trying to find out that starting 5, who's going to work, what's going to work. So that's still a work in progress. But I tell you what, I really do think this team's on the verge. And Coach Lunsford said it earlier this year. When we flip that switch, things are going to be special. I think they're getting close to. I think they're at that switch. And they're going to click that thing up here because, you got a big string of games coming up, and it starts with New Mexico State, then your App State, and then you have, the rest of this whole Sun Belt coming in with some rivalries against Georgia State still coming up to the end of the year. So there's some big games, and for folks who wrote Georgia Southern off at 1-3, shame on you. This team, this is a blue-collar team. I don't think this year they're going to go out and win too many games by 30, but you're not going to be outplayed. You're not going to be outworked by the squad.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Kennedy. Man, that kid is special. Like that man ran to 130 yards in the game on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Wesley Kennedy, I've known this kid and covered him all the way coming up through Benedictine, and you knew he's a big-time player. I mean, I thought he had the speed and athletic ability to be an SEC player. But for one reason or another, size maybe comes into play. That he's just a little too short to play for some of the big SEC schools. Well, I tell you what, that dude plays with a chip on his shoulder, and when he's out there, he's the best player on the field.
I would tell people who in the chat or listening to this show, if you get bored, go and Google who has played running back at Georgia Southern since about 2013 and see where they are now, and you're going to be like, wow. If you're in the state of Georgia and you don't want to go sit on the bench at one of these SEC schools or ACC schools, check out where the running backs go to Georgia Southern and check out what happens when they leave Georgia Southern.
One of them is in San Francisco. One of them is San Francisco right now.
A couple of them in the NFL. You got a couple in the NFL, and then you have a guy in the CFL as well. Just like I said, just go check out Georgia Southern running backs.
Yeah, you talk about Jarrett McKinnon who gets signed by. He was with Minnesota. He gets hurt.
Yeah, Breida
goes as an undrafted free agent, and now he's one of the, he's the sexiest thing in fantasy football. He's got so much speed. This is stuff we knew what he could do, but NFL teams all overlooked him, and now he's making them pay. So I mean, again. Georgia Southern, you have that small, we're not a Power 5 and everything else, but they breed good athletes there, and especially at that running back position. So, and you got a good one right now, and J.D. King too. He's a transfer from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got some running backs, and we got a young stable of them too. These dudes can play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jarek McKinnon. Once again. This kid was a South Cobb Raven. I coached against him for years. Oh my God, that kid was unstoppable at the park. Oh my God, that kid. Man, I threw a lot of visors trying to stop that kid. Oh my God, he's so athletic. He doesn't go down. The whole team can hit him in some kind of way. He's still on his feet.
I think
he has amazing balance.
I think he was the one who pretty much gave Will Muschamp his walking papers at Florida. Because when Georgia Southern went down there and Jarek was playing at 70%, it was still running away from SEC defenders. You knew he was something special.
He has amazing balance, man. You can hit that kid and he'll look like he's going down in some kind of way. How is he still on his feet? Amazing. It's like cat-like. He's Jarek McKinnon is cat-like. We'll go through the chat real quick. We have Danny Brown join us. What's going on, Danny? Thanks for joining us. He said, "What's up, Big Frank? Love looking at your Twitter every day." Trav joined us. He seconded my notion on the shades. JF joined us. What's going on, JF? He said they had to pull a Trey tonight. We have a guy who joins Trey all the time. He always joins in the middle of the show when we're about to end. And Trav said, "Yep, tour in San Francisco." Exactly, tour in San Francisco along with Coleman, and we know what Shanahan likes to do. So if Shanahan picks you as a back, you got speed and you can hit the hole.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, say it.
I ain't gonna say nothing about that. Go ahead. I was just talking about Travis. Like he's a famous Scriven County. He's the infamous Scriven County. He played for Scriven County High School. Yeah. So.
All right. So. You guys go ahead and start putting your predictions for Saturday in the game. And I'll we always on our college show just do a throwaway question to the chat. My question for the chat this week, you guys, how do you think the team will respond after the tragedy? Like, what are you expecting for? Do you think the team will rally, or do you think the guys will be tough and like say either would be understandable? You know what I'm saying? Either would be. But Frank and Don, what do you guys think? Okay, so 6 games left. What are our chances of becoming bowl eligible? And what are chances of going to the bowl? Because we know, in the Sun Belt, we got to win 6, but we also know that sometimes, as many bowls as there are now that should get you in, but sometimes you can get overlooked. I doubt Georgia Southern would be, but what do you?
That's just it. With Georgia Southern, they're never going to be overlooked for a bowl because they travel so well. Eagle Nation supports. Yep. And let's be honest, bowls are about making money. And if you're going to bring fans down there, listen, I've been to Mobile. We went to the bowl. I've been to Alabama. We bring folks and they spend money. Georgia Southern folks like to party. I still have Georgia Southern down at 7-5 ending the regular season. This is how I've had them. this whole year. I think they go 7-5. They do go to a bowl. I see them going to Orlando to the Cure Bowl, which I think would be a great fit, especially from Statesboro folks rolling down. You hit 95 down to I-4. It's not a long trip, 4 hours. Go to Disney before Christmas. I got Georgia Southern at 7-5. I still think the only game that's going to be the tough one, and again, it could easily be 8-4. Appalachia State is going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
but I've seen the other teams around the league that they still have on the schedule. Arkansas State and Troy both all of a sudden don't play defense. They've had some injuries to some of their key offensive guys. You have Georgia State, which is a rivalry in Statesboro. Georgia Southern is not going to lose to their rival in-state at home. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you got Louisiana Monroe, who has to come to Statesboro. So let's say Georgia Southern wins their 2 games at home. You got 3 games at home left counting this week. There's 3 wins. So that puts them at 5 wins.
Yep.
Then you got to just win a couple games. You got the 3 are on the road. So I got them at 7-5 going to the Cure Bowl. I think this tragedy, these guys will rally, and I do think they win this week. And Thursday is going to be a big game up in Boone. And again, I really can't make a prediction. I'll know more after this Saturday after watching them what I think they'll do up there in the mountains against Appalachian State.
Okay.
I think before the year, I think I had picked them at 8-4. I had this Appalachian State game circled on the calendar because I knew it would be Appalachian State and the Georgia Southern game. The Georgia State game or 2 that on the calendar were going to be big. I actually preseason thought they'd knock off Appalachian State. So next week, I'm just super excited to see that game. I don't have any predictions. Like you said, I guess I need to see more Saturday. Yeah. How the team responds. The council practice today. But I do think they'll get to a bowl. Like you said, they travel very well, and I hope they'll get to a bowl, and I do think they will. What do you think?
I think 7-5 is reasonable for them. And yes, they will get a bowl bid. It's just been a crazy year for Georgia Southern. Like we went on the road, played LSU, we got beat, and tragic struck that weekend too. It was a family, I forgot what was the family name? Frank
the Hagens from Effingham County.
Yes, the Hagens. Yep. They on their way back from LSU, they was killed in a car wreck. Yeah,
all about that.
And now the Wiggins kid. Look, man, it's a showers. It's a lot of stuff.
Then he got injured.
Yep. And then Kennedy been out 4 games. It's a lot. Like these guys are playing with a chip on their shoulder. Very relentless. Very, they got grit. Because that game on Saturday, it could have went the opposite direction. To be honest, but they found the way to win. I'm still, I did say we did both. I think we both said 8-4 earlier this season. But they can still potentially go 8-4, but 7-5 I believe is the floor for them, right now. I don't think they're gonna lose more than 5 games, and they're gonna get the bowl bid. And as far as what they do in the bowl, I'm not for sure right now. So, but that's my prediction.
I mean, like I say, this team still has a ton to play for because you still have. Like I say, they can still win the conference. They can still not only play in the conference championship game, they can still win the conference very, very realistically. So this team has a ton to play for. And also, I'm sorry, guys, the biggest game in the state this year is not Georgia Tech.
Exactly.
Georgia State.
Exactly.
It is not the biggest game in the year. Georgia Southern, Georgia Tech is the biggest.
And I try to tell people,
tell
people that earlier this season. I said Southern versus State is becoming a bigger rivalry now. Bigger than I ain't say it's bigger than Georgia, UGA, and Tech. You still got to respect that rivalry, but people will sleep on this State versus Southern rivalry. It's serious, and it ain't just in football. It's in baseball, basketball, every sport. Well, and like the thing about with Georgia State, because I don't know if you guys know, Georgia Southern has been winning national championships in football since the late 80s. So I know most of you guys were just born then or born in the 90s. But Georgia Tech, Tracy Ham, Adrian Peterson, Paul Johnson, he was winning championships at Tech.
forever ago.
Yeah, and the young people. If you see our outro video, it's when Georgia Southern the third scene. That's when Georgia Southern won their first championship.
Irk Russell. Most people associate Irk Russell with UGA, but a lot of people don't know that he left UGA and went to Georgia Southern and was very successful there.
Built a powerhouse.
And so what has made this rivalry more interesting is now Georgia State has gotten better. So now it's not only the bragging, now the game means something. So now it's not just about the bragging, the actual football game means something now, and at the last game of the year, it's gonna be important. It's definitely going to be important. It could be that a team is going to the conference championship. It could be getting bowl eligible. So it's absolutely
a lot at stake. It's a lot at stake. So
yeah, definitely, it's a lot at stake. Whereas until Coach Collins is able to raise Georgia Tech up, that game is not going to mean anything for the next several years. So Georgia Southern, Georgia State is the premier game in the state for the next 2 years. Easy. Yeah. We're going to chat real quick and then we'll do our predictions. That Georgia boy said he'll pick Georgia Southern only because his cousin played there. Wait, as long as you got a good reason, that Georgia boy. Stand for something. LaTravis said, yep, the great Frank Johnson helped get Georgia Southern 2 titles. He's from Screven County. What position did he play, Trav? Frank Johnson from, I'm going to look him up. And if you guys didn't know, Adrian Peterson. Not
the Oklahoma, not Oklahoma, but the other Adrian Peterson.
Yes, the other AP got drafted by the Bears. His brother was Mike Pete, who played at Florida. A lot of people don't know that. His brother Mike Pete, if you remember the great Florida linebacker for years. But Adrian Peterson in the triple option, he was the A back then, and he was unstoppable. Unstoppable.
He won 1AA's additionally a version of the Heisman. He won the Walter Payton Award as a sophomore. Good.
And Trey's joining us in the chat. Yeah, Trey, we talked about you earlier. We're about to end the show, Trey. We're just about to give our predictions now, Trey. So thanks for joining. Okay, so New Mexico State Saturday. Don, I can't even predict the score, Don. What do you think? I can't even do a prediction.
I'm going to say it's going to be 28 Southern, New Mexico State 14 or 17, something like that.
Man, it's so hard because you know how emotions are. You never know what you're going to get, so I have no idea. I do think they'll win, but I'm going to say we win by at least 10. I can't even predict the score. Before this, I would have told you 20-0, 30-0, but I can't even put a score on it now. So what do you think, Frank?
I got 30 Southern.
Okay.
I like that.
That's good.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, Frank, we got to say, I'm sorry, Don. Don, talk to the people real quick and let them know. Who sponsors us, Don?
Oh yeah, I don't really do that for the college shows, but this show has been sponsored to us by Grant Park Print House. If you want any custom made t-shirt designs or custom made coffee cups or custom made bags, go to www.grantparkprinthouse.com and get in contact with them, and they'll hook you up with all your, accessories that you want to create. So that's Grant Park Print House.
And we want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us as well. We want to thank Frank for joining us as well. Frank, one more time, let the people know what you do, where they can find you at, where they can check you out at.
Well, I'm here on TV in Savannah, WJCL, the ABC. Hit me up on Twitter, the big guy, WJCL. I'm getting close, man. I'm going to hit that 10K here before long. I can't wait to see that K by my followers.
Where you at? How many are you,
man? I'm at 9,961 followers.
Hey, man, y'all get Frank to 10K, man. Let's go.
I can't wait to get that. I don't know what kind of party is going to happen. When I get to that 10K, it's going to get crazy.
You probably start. You probably own the little share of Twitter. That's probably what's happening.
Yeah, at that point. Twitter, but I try to stay up on it. Facebook, hit me up. Instagram, I'm on there too. And if you want to see the highlights from Georgia Southern and Savannah State each week, just log on to our website, wjcl.com. We stream our newscast every night. So if you're out there and you want to watch, you're not in Savannah area, go to our website and you can watch us stream. And you can watch me every night.
That's what's up. All right, you guys. So we will be back on Sunday. Well, we're talking Sunday, Don.
It's a surprise. Y'all gonna find out Friday evening.
Okay, I don't even know. So I'm in suspense too, y'all. That wasn't a setup. I'm like, what are we doing? All right, so of course we'll be back Sunday with the halftime show as well. But until then, thanks once again, Frank, for joining us. Thanks everybody in the chat, and we will talk to you guys.
All right, hold on, man. And you know I do the outro.
You're right. I tried to set it up earlier.
All right, so everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all joining us this evening. I know y'all could have been watching other things that's going on right now, but we appreciate y'all joining us. Also, appreciate you coming on, Frank, and you've been doing a great job here in the South Georgia area. So, hey, keep doing your thing, man. We appreciate it.
Oh no, I appreciate y'all. Anytime, let me know. I'll come on talk sports. That's what I get paid to do.
All right, good. We appreciate it, man. We love doing this, man. We really do. All right, if y'all new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with other Georgia collegiate sports fanatics, and also hit us up in the comment section. As always,
come holla
at your hometown sports podcast. All right, y'all have a great rest of y'all week. We'll see y'all Sunday afternoon with our Falcons halftime report. Be good. Tell them boys play time's up. Tell them put the house on me. They can put the house on me. Tell them put the house on me. Tell them boys play time's up. Tell them put the house on me. They can put the house on me. Tell them put the house on me. Tell them boys play time's up. Tell them put the house on me. They can put the house on me. Tell them put the house on me. Tell them boys play time's up. Tell them put the house on me. They can put the house on me. Tell them put the house on me. Tell them put the house on me. They can put the house on me.